Okay, let's look at the questions first. First one is paradox. Paradox most nearly means, let's read the sentence. The problem is often referred to as Fermi's paradox after the Nobel Prize winning physicist Enrico Fermi, who once asked his colleagues this question at lunch. The question he asked, you have to go back to this, the line before, which is why haven't we found alien life yet? So let's plug in some answers and see what we can eliminate. Often referred to as Fermi's question. Yeah, that seems like a reasonable guess. Fermi's contradiction. A contradiction is something that goes against itself. It sort of disproves itself. It doesn't quite make any sense. And that also could be possible. Fermi's nuisance, that doesn't, a nuisance is like something that's annoying. So that's not right. And Fermi's taken together, that doesn't work either. So it's either A or B. And in this case, you have to look at the structure of the sentence itself. Probability tells us life should be out there, so why haven't we found it yet? It should be this way, but it isn't. That is more of a contradiction than a question. So the answer is B. A paradox is something, it's like in a science fiction movie where you go back in time and kill your own grandfather, which if that were true, how could you, if your grandfather was dead, how could you exist? Something like that. That's a paradox. Estivate. Estivate most nearly means. All right, so, but why estivate? So this one is sort of a tricky one, and because this is not, estivate is like a word nobody knows. In fact, it's a word that's so unusual that it's defined earlier in, if you were paying attention, they define the word up here. It's like hibernation, but sleeping until it's colder. So the answer is going to be hibernate because it was defined up there. You can plug in things and eliminate ones. But why revive? No. Explore? No. Breathe is possible. I think A and B are the two best answers, but this is one where they give you the answer if you're paying attention. Conceive of. All right. There could be forms of energy that we can't even conceive of using now, he said. Producing antimatter in bulk, tapping evaporating black holes, using dark matter, whatever. Okay, so we can't even conceive of using. We can't even experience using now. That doesn't quite work. No, it's just too awkward. We can't even question using now. There could be types of form of energy that we can't even question. That's a possibility. That's not great. I'm not in love with question, but it's better than experience. And it's also better than enjoy. We can't even enjoy using now. No, that's too weird to think of like this science article using the word enjoy when they're talking about technology. Imagine, I think that's going to be the strongest answer. It's either question or imagine, and that would make sense if you, there could be forms of energy that we can't even imagine using now. That makes the most sense. All right, which is the correct one here? Turns out to be a punctuation question. Question is, should there be something after the and? Should there be this semicolon here? These three dots are called an ellipses. Should there be ellipses? The answer is no. If you look through all of these, they're all wrong, except for the first one. And if you plug in the first one, there's really nothing wrong with it. So you'd put this in the maybe category, and then if you go through what might be out there and how this might explain, no, I mean, maybe if you put the comma there, you can make an argument, but if you put the comma there, it doesn't work. The semicolon doesn't work because when you use a semicolon, both sides, the side before it and the side after it, have to be able to make a complete sentence. And guide our future is not a complete sentence, so that can't be right. And then that just looks wrong. Just don't use ellipses unless you're sending a text message or something. All right, so that one was A. In 3 to 5 sentences, summarize the article. Well, this article is about answering the Fermi paradox. If there's life in the universe, why haven't we found it? And some scientists have figured out a new answer, which is that super smart aliens are so smart, they're not even biological, they're just digital, they're like artificial intelligence. And they figured out that because computers run better when it's colder, they're actually waiting for the whole universe to cool down so that they can be more efficient with their intelligence, I guess. This is a pretty complicated idea, and this is a very difficult article. That's why it's in the harder category. Um, the one thing I would add to the summary is that scientists don't know if this is true, and some scientists, including the ones they've interviewed, think that it's probably not true. You can see this line here. I don't find it very likely either. He thinks it's more likely they're just far away or um, something else. So, in one or two sentences, describe the article's main idea. The main idea is like there's a new scientific hypothesis, a new theory that suggests super advanced digital aliens might be hibernating until the universe cools down before they go out and do their alien things, and that's why we haven't seen any aliens. List one or two pieces of evidence from the text that supports what I just said was the main idea. And often I'm going to look for the main idea in the first couple of paragraphs. The first paragraph is a question, so it's not there, but it's here. Now, three researchers think they may have another potential answer to Fermi's question. Aliens do exist, they're just all asleep. Okay, that's it for this one.